Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy The Excavation of Barrow. Moi drodzy, w poprzednim odcinku dotarliśmy do małej miejscowości, która zwie się Barrow. Mieliśmy się tutaj spotkać z niejakim panem Shoulderem. Niestety, pan Shoulder na spotkanie nie dotarł. Dlaczego? Kompletnie nie mam zielonego pojęcia. W każdym bądź razie w dzisiejszym odcinku skupimy się na tym, żeby go znaleźć, ponieważ to on nas zaprosił do tej magicznej miejscowości w celu zbadania kurhanu. A tymczasem rozejrzyjmy się po okolicy. Porozmawialiśmy sobie z panem Cruzierem. Jest to kowal. A ja mówiłem, że my zajrzymy w tym odcinku do kościoła. Mamy jakąś panią. Stara kobieta, która, sprzedaje jakieś ciasteczka, bądź rozdaje. Mamy też jakieś tablice pamiątkowe.
In memory of George Paxton.
Chyba Buxton.
In memory of Barnaby Tillett. In memory of William Ager.
Dobra, mi nic te imiona i nazwiska nie mówią.
In memory of Romeo Hegg, dearly missed by his beloved Juliet.
Ale być może później będziemy musieli się dowiedzieć coś na temat jakiegoś człowieka, to może te tablice pamiątkowe mi tutaj w tym pomogą. Rydel.
Excuse me, do you think anyone would mind if I borrowed this trowel?
You help yourself, dear. Father Roach won't mind lending it. Just be sure to put it back when you're finished.
Of course, thank you.
It is more blessed to give than to receive.
Dobra, jakiś przedmiot trafił do mojego ekwipunku. Mamy rydel. Być może ten rydel posłuży mi do zbadania kurhanu. W każdym bądź razie, chcę zobaczyć, co to są za ciasteczka, bo wyglądają smakowicie.
Unfortunately, I don't think the cakes are free. Hello?
Good day. Would you like to buy one of these cakes, pet?
Tak, chciałabym kupić ciastko. Jakie ciastka pani sprzedaje?
What kind of cakes do you have?
I have some lovely Bakewell puddings, the sweetest marriage of almond and jam. I can tell you're not from around here, because if you were, you would know about my Bakewell puddings. They are quite famous.
Alas, I'm not carrying any money with me.
That's unfortunate, pet. I'm sorry, I can't give them away for free. The money goes to the church, you see, and one cannot shirk one's duty to the church.
I understand.
Z całym szacunkiem, droga pani, jak uda nam się zdobyć jakieś pieniądze, to wrócimy po ciasteczko. Przedstaw się.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Mrs. Duplancy.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Duplancy.
Likewise, pet.
Ale strasznie miła jest ta pani. W porównaniu do mężczyzn, którzy tutaj są, z którymi mieliśmy do czynienia, to jak ogień i woda.
Tell me about yourself, Mrs. Duplancy.
About me? What would you possibly want to know about me? I've been attending St. Edmund's Church my whole life. I always want to help where I can, so I sell my baked goods and all the proceeds go to its upkeep. This place means so much to me.
To naprawdę miło z jej strony.
Your cakes look delicious.
I can assure you they are. You'll not find better in the entire county.
Kościół Świętego Edmunda.
What can you tell me about St. Edmund's Church?
Isn't it the finest building? It's been standing here since the 12th century. The box pews in the nave are very fine and date back to the 17th century. The door is open if you'd like to worship.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy.
Chętnie za chwilę zajrzę do środka. Być może będę mógł porozmawiać z księdzem. Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a local man called Leonard Shoulder?
Yes, I know Leonard. What business do you have with him?
It's a long story, but I'm trying to find where he lives.
I'm afraid I don't know, dear. Father Roach has access to the parish register. He might be able to help you.
Ojciec Roach. Dajcie mi znać w komentarzu, czy nie denerwuje was to, że nie mówię shoulder, tylko Schulder, tak po niemiecku, z takim akcentem. Wiecie, jeżeli was to denerwuje, to będę mówił normalnie. Co może mi pani powiedzieć o ojcu Roach?
What can you tell me about Father Roach?
He is a lovely man and an exemplary servant of the Lord. He's been the vicar of St. Edmunds for many years.
Gdzie znajdę ojca Roach?
Where can I find Father Roach?
At this time of day, he'll be taking his exercise in Herne Wood, to the west of the village.
Thank you. I'll go find him.
Be sure to listen out for his merry whistling. Such a jolly man.
Dziękuję za wskazówkę. Kurhan Hoba.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
Hobbs what?
Hobbs Barrow, a local burial mound.
The only place of burial I know about and care for is in this very churchyard.
Zakończ rozmowę.
Thank you for your time.
Lord be with you.
Naprawdę, przemiła staruszka.
Goodness me, look at these box pews. I've never seen any as tall as that before. Most unusual architecture, even for the Normans.
Widzę, że mamy tutaj przywieszony jakiś naszyjnik.
Someone has left a necklace hanging here. A silver cross. Sterling by the look of it. Maybe I can reunite it with its owner.
A może nie powinniśmy tego zabierać? Skoro ktoś tutaj to zostawił, to być może po to tutaj wróci. A my weszliśmy do kościoła i pierwsze co się dopuściliśmy, kradzieży.
I've no time for such things. The flowers have long since dried out. I don't want them.
Tabliczka.
A memorial list of former vicars. They stretch back several hundred years.
No dobra, nie ma tutaj księdza, wyjdźmy na zewnątrz. Ogólnie, moi drodzy, przed chwileczką wstałem, jestem troszeczkę jeszcze zaspany, tak więc jeżeli będę się gdzieś tutaj motał w jakichś wyrazach, to wybaczcie mi, ale...
It's locked.
Zamknięte, nie wejdziemy do środka. Ale mamy tutaj duże rozwidlenie. Mogę iść do góry, mogę iść na lewo, mogę iść w dół. Ale słyszycie pogwizdywanie? Prawdopodobnie jest gdzieś tutaj ksiądz. Ona mówiła, że jest w lesie. No, widać tutaj drzewa, więc obstawiam, że musimy iść na lewo. Co mu się dzieje? Dławi się czymś? Wygląda jak zombie. O kurde, zwymiotował.
Very sorry. Oh, the shame. This malaise will not pass. Oh, the nausea. I need your help, young lady.
Tell me what you need.
Let the blood from my arm.
Excuse me?
Cut me. I beg you.
Czym bym mógł go skaleczyć? Rydlem być może.
The trowel's blade is dull and rusted. I need something that will provide a cleaner cut. I don't think it's sharp enough.
No dobra, ja żadnego scyzoryka nie mam, ani nic takiego w ekwipunku.
Are you sure this is the only way, Father?
I beg you. It's the only cure for this torturous malady.
Ale ciekawe, co mu się stało, nie? Wymiociny.
I'm not going near it. It smells disgusting.
Widzę, że leży jakiś element. Dobra, mamy okulary. Warto by było je podnieść.
Ouch! The broken lens is extremely sharp.
O, czyli już wiem, czym tak naprawdę rozetnę mu rękę.
Ouch! The broken lens.
Mamy rękawiczkę przecież, nie?
Perhaps I shouldn't risk soiling this glove until I find its owner.
O, nie mogę użyć rękawiczki na szkiełku.
This handkerchief was a gift from my mother. I hope she will understand. This should work.
Są rzeczy ważne i ważniejsze.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yes, it will cure me of my ills.
I shall do as you ask, Father.
Thank the Lord for my spare pair. God bless you. I already feel quite better.
I'm glad, Father.
The rapid healing properties of bloodletting cannot be overstated. I'm Frederick Roach, vicar of St. Edmund's Church.
My name is Thomasina Bateman. It's a pleasure to meet you.
O nim. Czujesz się lepiej, ojcze?
Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
What ails you, Father Roach?
I just ate a rotten berry, that's all. I like to pick blackberries for my supper, you see. They are quite delicious, as long as you mind the bramble. My apologies again. I wish we had met in different circumstances.
Stara jeżyna by doprowadziła do wymiotów i upuszczenie krwi miałoby w tym pomóc? Nie wiem. Coś mi się wydaje, że ksiądz tutaj kręci. Pochodzi ojciec z Bewley?
Are you from Bewley originally?
I was born in our very own St. Edmund's. It's quite the story.
Do tell.
My mother was sheltering there as a frightful tempest raged. And lo, did her waters break right there and then in that pew.
One could say that you were born into your role, Father.
Indeed. When my mother told me the story as a young boy, I knew that this was my calling.
Kościół Świętego Edmunda. Kościół Świętego Edmunda to piękny budynek.
St. Edmund's is a fine building.
Thank you for saying so. It's hard work keeping her in good shape, but our congregation is always willing to lend a hand in the Lord's name.
Jak to jest być tu pastorem?
What is it like being the vicar here?
Every day is a blessing, my child. I have a great love for our parish, and the Lord looks after us.
A co z wiernymi?
What about your congregation?
Numbers have fallen over the years, I must say. But those that remain are faithful and full of His Spirit.
Leonard Schulder. Szukam pana Leonarda Schuldera.
I'm looking for Mr. Leonard Shoulder.
Oh, yes? Are you a relative?
No, it's a long story, but he invited me to Bewley.
And he didn't tell you his address?
He was to meet me last night at the Plough and Furrow, but he never came.
I see. Well, let me welcome you to Bewley on his behalf.
Thank you, Father.
Czy wie ojciec, gdzie mogę go znaleźć?
Do you know where Mr. Shoulder lives?
Let me think. It's been many moons since I've paid him a visit.
Perhaps you could allow me to take a look at the parish register.
No need. I remember it now. A fair hike across the moors.
Could you please give me directions?
I'll take you there myself. It's the least I can do after you aided me so.
Capital. Thank you.
Just let me know when you're ready to pay him a visit. I'll be resting here for the time being.
Kurhan Hoba.
What do you know of Hobbs Barrow?
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's supposedly a famous local landmark.
I'm afraid I know nothing about it.
Bewley.
What can you tell me about Bewley?
It's a quiet town. The railway line, which I presume you arrived by, is the only news of note we've had here for years.
I've heard the new station has received a mixed reaction.
I've heard many a debate, it's true. But my role is not to adjudicate on that matter. I'm very busy in my own work, you see.
Jestem gotowa pójść do domu pana Schuldera.
I'm ready to go to Mr. Shoulder's house.
Excellent. I feel the fresh air will do me well. Follow me.
Jestem ciekaw, czy zastaniemy go w domu. Czy moje przypuszczenia, że coś mu się stało, będą tutaj prawdziwe?
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Mrs. Duplancy. Mrs. Duplancy, this is Thomasina Bateman, a visitor to our parish.
We've already had the pleasure of meeting, Father.
Excellent. Miss Bateman, don't hesitate to try one of Mrs. Duplancy's wonderful cakes.
Yes, I've heard about her famous Bakewell puddings.
I'll be here all day, young lady. But remember, once they're gone, they're gone. Those little whelps have already gobbled up all the gingerbread.
You are doing God's work, Mrs. Duplancy.
He smiles upon us, Father.
Miss Bateman, if you'd like to follow me.
O, znowu ta wrona.
Let's talk of graves, of worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills.
Shakespeare?
Quite. Which play?
Żebym to jeszcze wiedział. Hamlet, Król Ryszard II, Macbeth. Jak myślicie? Wy na pewno wiecie, ja nie wiem. Ja nie czytałem lektur.
Macbeth.
Magnificent guess, Miss Bateman, but I'm afraid that passage is from Richard II. Studying the work of the bard is one of my favorite pastimes. Follow me.
No prawie się udało, nie?
Behold, the vast expanse of God's creation. The moors extend as far as the mortal eye can see. Beautiful, is it not?
Wrzosowiska są naprawdę piękne. Ja uważam je za dość melancholijne. Piękno zależy od punktu widzenia.
I find them rather desolate.
Really? I disagree. The beauty of God's creation is that it takes so many forms. How can one take in such a view and not have faith? Some look at these moors and think this a godless land. But I tell you, He is found in all domains. The Lord's work is all about us. Tell me, Miss Bateman, do you believe in God?
Powiedz prawdę, ojciec Roach wydaje się gotów, by to usłyszeć. Skłam, może lepiej uniknąć napięć.
I was brought up Anglican. The church was an important part of my early life, Father Roach. But what happened to my father eventually made me question things.
If you don't mind me asking, my child, what happened to your father?
He had an accident when I was very young.
Mamy chyba jakąś retrospekcję.
Come along now, Thomasina. Let's get out of the rain. Remember what I told you, all right? Be a good girl. People are unwell here. They don't want to hear you running about making noise. Understood?
Yes, Mother.
Good. And don't annoy the nurses.
I promise I won't.
Good. Now, let's see your father.
Okej. Czyli... No jest nasz ojciec, matka płacze.
Daddy, wake up!
Tylko nie wiemy, co tak naprawdę się wydarzyło, nie? Co za wypadek.
Mummy? Mummy?
Good evening, Mr. Bateman. Hello, little one. You must be Thomasina?
Yes.
My name is Nurse Blaketon. I just need to talk to your mummy for a little bit. I'm sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Bateman. Mrs. Bateman?
Will he ever talk again, Nurse Blaketon?
The doctor is uncertain, Mrs. Bateman. There is the possibility that Mr. Bateman won't regain any movement at all. But we will do our utmost to look after Mr. Bateman here at Ticehurst, ma'am. He will have a nurse by his side at all times, I can assure you.
What sort of God would allow this fate to befall such a kind and honest man?
I'm sorry to hear this. God moves in mysterious ways, but He loves us all. Come along now.
Hello? She scampered off in a hurry. Who was that?
Some primitive folk make their home out on the moors. I suggest you keep your wits about you when you are exploring, and don't stray too far from Bewley.
I see. How much farther to Mr. Shoulder's house?
Still quite a walk, I'm afraid, but we'll get to him soon enough. Now then, take a look at this. Legend has it that this cairn has stood here for over 1,000 years.
How remarkable.
The Devil's Toe.
I beg your pardon?
That's what it's called. The Devil's Toe.
Oh, I see.
Come now, onward.
We walked and walked across that vast, featureless landscape. All the while, Father Roach was whistling away merrily. Just as I had begun to wonder if we were hopelessly lost, a building emerged from the mist. Mr. Shoulder's cottage.
Here we are, Miss Bateman. Unless my memory fails me completely, this is Mr. Leonard Shoulder's house.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
Now, no need to thank me after your providential assistance today. However, I have something to ask you.
Yes?
Please don't tell Mrs. de Plancy about my little scene in the woods. She will only fret. The poor dear woman has enough on her mind as it is.
I shan't mention it.
Thank you. You'd better see if Mr. Shoulder is in.
Gra się zapisała. Dotarliśmy do pięknego wiejskiego domku. Naprawdę podoba mi się ta wiejska okolica. Mamy kurki.
Here, chuk chuk chuk.
Don't encourage them.
Okej. No dobra. Rzeźbiony kamień.
A carved stone has been affixed to the door. I think it depicts a crescent moon. It's bolted onto the door itself. I can't remove it. Father, what do you make of this?
A peculiar adornment. I've not seen any like this in Bewley. Though it does remind me of a passage by the bard himself. It is the very error of the moon. She comes nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad.
Romeo i Julia, Kupiec Wenecki, Otello.
The Merchant of Venice?
A splendid comedy. But that particular passage is from the great Othello. I'm afraid your knowledge of the bard is somewhat lacking.
It's been a while since I've read his work, Father.
Never mind.
Jestem ciekaw, czy wy byście zgadli. Dobra, w każdym bądź razie spróbujmy wejść do środka.
Mr. Shoulder? Is Thomasina Bateman here? I'm here in Bewley as discussed.
Maybe try again. His hearing probably isn't the best at his age.
Mr. Shoulder, are you home? It appears Mr. Shoulder is not at home. Curses.
Perhaps you could try the handle?
It's locked.
A może leży nieprzytomny?
No sign of life?
None. The window is nice and clean. The dwelling is by no means abandoned.
Może będę mógł tutaj wejść... nie wiem, może jest jakieś wejście do piwnicy i... rozejrzyjmy się.
That glove looks familiar. I wonder if it matches the glove I found behind the plough and furrow.
Czyli wychodzi na to, że jeżeli znaleźliśmy tam rękawiczkę, to wychodzi na to, że pan Shoulder tam był.
The gloves are a pair. Does this mean Mr. Shoulder was in the alley last night? Why didn't he come inside to see me?
Perhaps he's gone for a stroll.
Possibly.
I'd suggest you call back later, my child. I myself must make my way back home. I have some matters to attend to at the church. Shall I accompany you back to Bewley?
Nie, dziękuję. Idź przodem, chciałabym się jeszcze rozejrzeć.
No, you go ahead, Father. Thank you.
As you wish. Farewell, Miss Bateman. I hope Mr. Shoulder finds his way to you.
Thank you for your help, Father Roach.
My pleasure. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Romeo i Julia, wiele hałasu o nic, dość już tego Szekspira, no właśnie.
Enough Shakespeare.
I see you tire of my quotations. Lord be with you.
Well, Mr. Shoulder, you've brought me to Bewley, and now you're nowhere to be found. I'll just have to find Hobbs Barrow myself.
No bo taka rozkmina mnie teraz naszła, bo kiedy my wyszliśmy z pubu i poszliśmy na tyły do tamtego zaułka, gdzie znaleźliśmy rękawiczkę, to widzieliśmy jakiegoś starca, który odchodzi, za którym poszliśmy, ale potem zniknął. Być może to był pan Shoulder.
Slightly damp. The trousers feel damp. Freshly hung or still wet from last night's rain?
Czyli albo ktoś robił pranie,
I've no desire to lug a block of wood about the countryside. You're a sweet little thing, aren't you?
jestem ciekaw, czy tak każdą kurę będę mógł podnieść.
He looks much too unruly to be picked up.
No właśnie.
You're a sweet little thing, aren't you?
Dobra, ale mamy tutaj rzeźbiony kamień. Nie mogę go zdjąć, ale być może będę go w jakiś sposób odsunąć. Być może tam jest jakiś klucz schowany. Tylko co bym miał na tym użyć?
That is not coming off. No. No.
To nic nie da, tak? Za budynek wejść też nie mogę. Czyli chyba nic tu po mnie.
I've come a long way to meet you, Mr. Shoulder. Please open the door.
Zapałki. No dobra.
As I trudged back to Bewley across those cold moors, I would find Hobbs Barrow myself, with or without Mr. Shoulder. The train! That must be Kenneth. I should go and meet him at the station.
Świetnie, musimy iść na stację. Mamy tabliczkę.
Margaret's Lookout. I wonder who Margaret is, or was.
Już się nasiedziałem. O, to jest ta wrona, tak? Ona siedzi na jakimś nagrobku.
Samuel Bryden. Death is only a shadow across the path to heaven. The moors stretch into the distance. I don't wish to wander aimlessly.
Ale zobaczcie, mamy jakieś grzyby, które się w taki okrąg tutaj rozstawiły.
I better not touch them. They could be poisonous.
Ale dlaczego stworzyły taki okrąg? Tak jakbyśmy coś mieli umieścić w środku. Na razie nie mam pieniążków, żeby kupić ciasteczko, ale jak uda mi się takowe zdobyć... My tak naprawdę musimy udać się na stację kolejową.
Where is Kenneth? He was supposed to wait for me at the station.
Mamy Artura Tilleta. Tu jest ten pijaczek.
Mr. Tillett, where did you go last night?
Have we met?
Last night at the Plough and Furrow.
Oh, Miss Bateman. I were blind drunk last night and woke up with a stinking headache.
You still smell like a brewery.
Sorry.
You went to use the lavatory and never came back, Mr. Tillett. I searched everywhere for you.
I think I remember you bought me a drink. Then it's all a blur. I woke up in my bed this morning with my wife sour at me for waking her at some ungodly hour.
Czyli być może faktycznie pan Tillett wyszedł tyłem, ale... No, drzwi były zaryglowane od zewnątrz. No, dziwna sytuacja.
About last night.
Co zamierzał mi pan powiedzieć o panu Shoulderze?
What were you going to tell me about Leonard Shoulder?
Who?
Leonard Shoulder. You told me you knew him. And promised to tell me more if I bought you a drink. Which I did. So what were you going to tell me?
I don't really know the old bugger.
But you said you did.
Oh, aye. No, I know naught about him. No, naught about Leonard Shoulder.
Ale jestem zły na tego gościa. Nie dość, że postawiliśmy mu browara, wydaliśmy swoje ostatnie pieniądze, to jeszcze go się nas okłamał.
You're hiding something, Mr. Tillett. I don't believe you.
I say a lot of things when I've got the drink in me. I probably just wanted you to buy me an ale.
A likely story.
Look, what would I gain from lying to you? I just wanted another drink.
Even if that's the case, it doesn't explain your disappearance.
I don't remember out.
Gość powinien mi teraz oddać pieniądze.
About last night.
Naprawdę nie pamięta pan, dokąd poszedł zeszłej nocy?
You really don't remember where you went last night?
As I say, it's all a blur. I remember needing a piss. Then... nothing. Well, you must have missed me when I came out.
I did not. I even went to the gents' toilets to find you.
Oh, aye. A sight for sore eyes.
It was. I checked everywhere, and you were nowhere to be found. The back door leading to the alleyway was blocked from the outside.
Oh, aye?
Yes. You must have exited through that door, Mr. Tillett.
But you just said it were blocked.
There must be an explanation.
My mind has drawn a blank.
Why was the door blocked? Did you block it?
I told you I don't remember. I've naught to say 'cause I remember naught.
Dobra, jedyna rozkmina, która przychodzi mi do głowy, to jest taka, że ten gościu zamienia się w kota. Nie wiem, może jest jakaś pełnia księżyca albo coś i zmienia swoją postać. Leonard Shoulder.
I found Mr. Shoulder's house, but he wasn't home.
Don't worry. You'll find him.
O nim.
How's your headache faring?
It feels like a steam engine is driving full pelt in a circle around me skull.
Be sure to drink plenty of water, Mr. Tillett.
Aye. I'll survive.
Stacja kolejowa.
So you work here?
Aye. Bewley Station Master at your service. Would you like to buy a ticket?
Not just yet, thank you. I understand that some of the locals are not too happy about this new station.
Aye. I'd go as far as saying the whole village.
How long has the station been open for?
About 3 months. We're on the Midland Railway line. This employment's been a saviour for me. If I weren't stood here, I'd be drinking my life away at the pub right now. It's worth the occasional withering look from Cyril and the rest of them.
Dobra, ale być może będzie wiedział coś więcej na temat Kennetha. Czy on tutaj wysiadał, czy w ogóle pociąg przyjechał? Ale to za chwilę się o to zapytamy.
What does a station master do?
A bit of this and a bit of that. I don't wish to bore you with such things.
As you wish.
My responsibilities here keep me on the straight and narrow, I'll tell you that much. A sense of duty can do wonders for a lost soul.
Indeed. This must be a rather lonesome post to occupy.
Trains pass through here more regularly than you might think, lass.
Kenneth.
I'm looking for my assistant, Kenneth.
Oh, aye?
His train has arrived.
Not a single soul disembarked the last train, Miss Bateman.
Impossible.
Pociąg Kennetha.
Was that not the midday train from London by way of Derby?
Aye, it were. Mr. Price were here, unloaded a few crates.
But no Kenneth.
Not a soul. Hold on. One of them crates had your name on it, Miss Bateman. A great big one it were, with...
A red ribbon.
Aye.
What is Kenneth playing at, sending my equipment but not himself? Curses.
No będziemy musieli udać się do pubu i zweryfikować, co jest w tej skrzyni.
Where is my crate now?
Mr. Price took away all the crates on his cart.
Who?
Mr. Price, he's the postmaster.
No mam nadzieję, że dostarczył do tego pubu moją skrzynię, skoro jest postmistrzem.
Where can I find Mr. Price?
He lives above the storeroom, just north of the plough and furrow. You'll see it. There's a Royal Mail plaque on the wall.
Thank you.
No dobra.
Where can I find...
He lives you'll see...
Thank you. I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
Hobbs Barrow.
It's why Leonard Shoulder invited me to Bewley. He thought I might like to excavate it.
Oh, aye. I heard about a Hobbs Barrow somewhere out there. There's some old stories around it.
What stories?
I can't remember.
Mr. Tillett, please, this is important.
I'm awfully sorry, Miss Bateman. I'll try to remember. If he invited you here, then I'm sure Mr. Shoulder will tell you all about it.
That's if I ever get to meet him.
I'm sure you will.
Zakończ rozmowę.
Farewell for now.
Ta-ra!
No dobra, chyba nie pozostaje mi nic innego jak... iść do tej poczty. Na północ od tego pubu, tak? Czyli tutaj. Albo tu.
That must be the postmaster's storeroom.
Mężczyzna.
Hello,
Good day. I haven't seen you in Bewley before.
I'm just visiting.
Lovely. It's nice to see a new face. We don't get many visitors. My name's Henry. Henry Long.
Nice to meet you, Henry. Thomasina Bateman.
Wonderful. What a treat.
Ale zupełnie inne podejście mają ludzie za dnia do mnie niż w nocy o nim.
You seem in a good mood, Mr. Long.
It's just lovely to see a new face. Where are you from, Miss Bateman?
Powiedz mu, wydaje się nieszkodliwy.
Originally a small town on the outskirts of Derby, Mr. Long, though I currently reside in London.
London? I've never met anyone from London. How very exciting. Have you lived there a long time?
It's been quite a few years now, yes.
I've heard that the air there is so heavy with smoke, it makes it hard to breathe. Is that true?
Some days.
Oh, you must miss the fresh northern air. Well, you've got that in Bewley. No factories out here. Such things are a blight on his creation. I were born in this very home I stand in front of. Bewley is in my blood. Why would I ever want to leave? Especially now I can meet new folk thanks to the railway line.
Pocztomistrz. Szukam pana Price'a, pocztmistrza.
I'm looking for Mr. Price, the postmaster.
Oh, Mr. Price, my lovely neighbour. I'm afraid you've just missed him.
Curses.
I saw him wheeling a large crate into his storeroom just there.
It must be mine. I really need it.
Have a look through the window to see if it's yours.
Dokąd poszedł pan Price?
Where did Mr. Price go?
I don't know. The man were in a hurry. I know he has family in Bakewell.
That's miles away. Did he leave by foot?
No, by horse. He must be a few miles down the road by now.
Curses.
Kiedy wróci pan Price?
When will Mr. Price be back?
He didn't say. Could be tonight, could be a few days.
How infuriating.
I told him I'd keep watch of his storeroom, and I'm a man of my word, Miss Bateman. I shall not budge from this spot.
Leonard Shoulder.
Do you know a man named Leonard Shoulder?
Aye, funny old fellow. I hear he lives way out on the moors somewhere.
Have you seen him recently?
No, not for a long while now that you mention it. Why do you ask?
It's a long story, but I was to meet him in Bewley. He invited me here.
Well, I must thank him when I see him for inviting such an enchanting young woman.
You flatter me, Mr. Long.
Kurhan Hoba.
I'm looking for Hobbs Barrow.
One of those old burial hills.
Yes. Do you know where it is?
Believe it or not, I haven't set foot on the moors since I were a child.
Why is that?
I've got all I need right here in Bewley. and we're all truly blessed with the railway station, which brings us lovely new faces.
Stacja kolejowa.
Your opinion of the railway station differs widely from your fellow townsfolk, Mr. Long. I've not met anyone particularly keen on it.
That railway line is the start of a new era for Bewley. Mark my words. There's much to protect here, but we need new blood. I hope that some of you visitors will actually stay here permanently.
Why is that?
So I have new friends to talk to. Some people here don't want any new friends. Cyril Farnaby, the miserable old sod, is the worst offender.
Cyril.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Cyril. He really dislikes the railway station.
Absolutely miserable he is. I've tried to convince him many times that the station will help Bewley. He just doesn't understand.
I met him last night in the Plough and Furrow.
Aye, the scene of our many debates. Blimey. I could go for an ale right now, actually.
Dobra, to idź na kufelek, a my popilnujemy magazynu.
Can I buy you a drink?
Really?
No. Wait. Do you think Mr. Kemp will let me open a tab?
Perhaps. You could always ask him. I shouldn't leave anyway. Mr. Price is relying on me to keep watch of his storeroom.
Goodbye.
Don't be a stranger.
I tak nie mamy pieniędzy, żeby cokolwiek kupić.
The postmaster isn't home. If you're looking to collect your post, you'll have to wait until he gets back.
Zerknijmy przez okienko.
There's my crate. Kenneth always ties a red ribbon to it. I can see an envelope tucked behind the ribbon. Perhaps it can help explain Kenneth's absence. I'm going to have to get in there.
Ale skrzynia jest naprawdę ogromna.
Royal Mail. Postmark. This must be the local post office. I have nothing else to ask.
No dobra. Wejdźmy zatem do pubu. A może te dzieciaki mi pomogą odwrócić jego uwagę i wtedy się w jakiś sposób wślizgnę do magazynu. Otwarcie rachunku.
I'm sorry to ask this, Mr. Kemp, but could I please open a tab?
Still not in your purse?
I'm afraid not. My assistant hasn't arrived as planned, so I find myself in a bind. He must have put the money in my crate, which is currently being held in Mr. Price's storeroom.
Well, and I do trust you. So yes, I'll open an account for you, to be settled at the end of your stay.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Now then, I'll be needing something of value as a deposit.
I thought you said you trusted me.
Aye, it's not personal, lass. One can never be too cautious.
No co możemy mu dać w zamian? Jedynie ten srebrny łańcuszek, który znaleźliśmy. Leonard Schulder.
I found Mr. Shoulder's home, thanks to the help of Father Roach.
Wonderful! So you've met our vicar then?
Yes, I did. An interesting character.
Indeed. So, did old Leonard apologise for his absence?
Not quite. He wasn't home.
What is that man playing at?
You tell me.
Kurhan Hoba.
I've decided to find Hobbs Barrow without Mr. Shoulder's aid.
Are you sure that's a wise idea, lass?
What other choice do I have? I have a feeling he is avoiding me. Do you know where I can find the barrow?
No, sorry. I say that on my mother's grave, Miss Bateman.
Kenneth.
My assistant has not arrived as planned.
Oh, is everything all right?
I'm not entirely sure.
Am I to keep a room for him just in case?
If you could hold it for one more night, Mr. Kemp.
As you wish.
Rachunek.
How can I open a tab again?
Leave me an item of value as a deposit. I'll give it back to you at the end of your stay, when it will be time to pay the piper.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
No dobra, zróbmy handel wymienny.
Will you accept this silver cross pendant as a deposit?
Can I take a closer look at it? Aye, silver. That'll do.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp.
Can I get you something to drink?
Tak, potrzebuję drinka, ale już myślałem, że ten gościu powie: ty, to jest mój łańcuszek, gdzie go znalazłaś? Oddawaj go. Tak poproszę.
A tankard of your finest ale, Mr. Kemp.
There we are. That's 2 pence on your account.
Thank you. Most agreeable.
Gierka się zapisała. Ale ja chciałem wziąć piwo i zanieść tamtemu gościowi. Jestem ciekaw, czy będę mógł wziąć na wynos.
There's nothing else I wish to...
Aha.
I've too much to do today to waste time sleep.
Nie mogę się położyć. No dobra. Wyjdźmy zatem na zewnątrz.
Hello?
Kurhan Hoba.
I really must find Hobbs Barrow.
What did I tell you last time? Not to be found digging around.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
Spróbuję jeszcze porozmawiać z dzieciakami i będziemy kończyć ten odcinek.
Hello?
Yeah.
Kurhan Hoba.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Good day.
Hello, ma.
Are you sure? You know, I really must find it.
I'm sure.
Goodbye.
Bye, mate.
Do widzenia. No dobra, w jaki sposób będziemy musieli dostać się do magazynu, żeby wziąć moją skrzynię. Ale moi drodzy, tak jak mówię, zajmiemy się tym w kolejnym odcinku. Mam nadzieję, że ten wam się podobał. Dzięki wielkie za uwagę, trzymajcie się i do usłyszenia. Hej!